So I think, yeah, she will join in a couple of minutes actually.
No problem.
Because
No problem.
first time, and it's very difficult for them to check the link, open the Zoom the application and all. But I said,
No, I understand. That's okay. No problem.
and but Jareen, one thing, when you will work with this technology, you have to actually work with this kind of people actually. First thing, because uh, after you are done with your testing, you have to make sure, right, that whatever you tested, whatever you work on, actually that's working fine. So in your team, just like in my team, actually I have one blind person, one color vision, so you will have this guy in your team as well. They will verify once you are done with your own testing to make sure, yeah, it's working fine and there's no issue, and they can access all the elements and it's working perfectly. Because
Okay.
see, we are building this application not for us actually, not for us actually. We are building this for them actually, right? We are making,
Right, right, right.
yeah, we are making application for them. So it's always recommended, like once we are done with our testing, they will definitely work on that. So even in
Mm-hmm.
Google
Okay.
as well, my team has many resources like that only, and they work on. So, and
Okay.
yeah, so like that
Okay.
we yes.
So, when it's come to assistive technologies,
Mhm.
usually people ask for assistive technologies experience, hands-on.
Mhm.
And I know I know a lot of people they have those technologies because in US, I know some personal kids.
Mhm.
So, it's just like a little computer. Um, which the people that who cannot speak they can write,
Mhm.
and then some can they can talk, and they get uh, everything like they talk by that thing.
Right. They
I don't
can
know
do
how
it.
it works. Yeah, but how do we get that kind of exposure? um,
Mm,
do you
in,
think it's important to learn?
I mean, which you are talking about? No, no. So that is that the person who cannot speak, we don't care about that, because see, even they cannot speak, they can see the things, right? They can see the
Right.
things, they can read the things, and if they want to convey,
Mm-hmm.
if they want to convey their things, they can write it down, right, on anywhere. So that's manageable actually. They don't have any issue with accessing our application, right? This application we make only for the person who is like blind, colorblind, low vision, motor disability, cognitive disability, physical some other disability. So there are so many disability which we consider, like the person is cannot remember for a long time, right? So we have to make our application in such a way so that they can remember things, or help should be always there, so that if they are not if they don't have an idea like what to do, I mean, they can directly
Mm.
go to help and they can find the solution there. So we use all that actually. If the person is deaf and blind both, then what we basically do actually, we use the braille device. So braille device will work like they can read through braille device actually.
Mm-hmm.
So this way actually we, yeah, okay, just a minute.
Okay.
Hello. uh
Yes.
all right, so all right. So is Chase is going to join today?
Yes.
Okay. Mhm. So yeah, so we were talking about like what kind of disability we look into when when we talk about the accessibility. So
Yes.
here we were talking about like all the disability, like cognitive, low vision, blind, deaf and blind both, and motor disability. So all this we will be covering in this actually. So that's the reason actually, when we talk about video and audio, we always look for the transcript and caption. So that's more important
Caps.
actually for the person who can, who cannot
Transcript, yes,
translate
and captions.
captions. Yes.
Yeah.
So that we all I mean, see, always we, I mean, look into that actually. When we, when we get the video, it should be there actually. So these are the thing actually we check. And
That is for hearing impaired. Yeah.
yes, for hearing impaired, yes.
And for blind people, audio description.
Description will be there, yes. So they can,
Audio.
use, yeah, so they can use the screen reader and they can read out all the contents which we have in the transcript.
Yeah.
So that way, we can convey our things to, all the people around the world. So okay, so let's talk here about HTML, because see, as I said, when I was about to start this class, I said, we will look into, all the things. First of all, we will look into, all the area where, how we can resolve the issue, why we are facing this issue. So we will look into that. So all the issue come from the HTML, either CSS, either JavaScript, or either ARIA attributes. So when we say, actually yesterday one person asked me, like, why, I mean, see, we always use a semantic elements when we talk about the designing part in HTML. But nowadays, actually, what is happening, uh, every developer is using a non-semantic. When say non-semantic, what is non-semantic means? So non-semantic, which is not, can give a meaningful uh, announcement for, particular that screen reader. So here, let's say, if this is my Google page. Please ask me, stop me anywhere where you feel like, you are not understanding, you are not getting that point. Just stop me. So when we open, suppose, Google page, I have this Google page with me. I will right click on that page and I will just select the option inspect. So when I'll select the when I select the option inspect, I will go into debugger pane where I can see the all the codings, where I can see how they have written the, codes for HTML. So now if you look into that coding, you will find they have used many times div and span. So here, if you see, they have used div. Sometimes they will use div, sometimes they will use span. So what does it means? Means that if they use the div and span, that means, like, these are the non-semantic things they have used. So now what is semantic then? So semantics, like in HTML5, there are a couple of attributes they have, which is semantic. So let's say instead of using a div, we can directly use button as a attributes there. Why should we use a div only? So the problem with using directly button is that we will look into all this. Actually, I'm just giving you overview. So we can directly use a button as well, but the problem is, like, some screen reader will support it, some will not support it. Then in this case, we cannot ask someone to forcefully that, you have to use only NVDA, you have to use only JAWS. That's their choice, right? They can use any tool. So in this case, to make our element accessible for all the screen reader, we just go with, we use some HTML5 attributes, we use some array attributes, and our last, I mean, like, say, our purpose is just to, make that element accessible. How, this is your choice how you will make it actually, but we will use both the elements together wherever is required, and then we will make our element semantic. Semantics means which is have meaningful, which is have meaning actually. So we'll make our element semantic. So here they have used logo. So let's see, we'll find something here. So if you just right click on Google and you inspect, you will, as I said, you will find this debugger pane where, you can see all the codings. You have to just select arrow button, which is left hand side. Then you have to place your cursor on the image, and when you will select the image, you can see this is the image, and here they have used the title here. So when I'll go here, it will show you as a Google. So this is the practice they use. This is the practice they use actually when they, design the page. They will use title. They will use alternative text, which is ALT. ALT is the attributes they will use. Why they will use? Because see, for person who can only work on a screen reader, that person can directly go there. Once this icon or once this image is selected, it will announce as a Google image. So they will understand, okay, yeah, this is Google image. Otherwise, they will not be able to understand it actually. So this is the things which, these are the attributes I'm talking about. So we use title, and then we will use the value to that, like Google. When we use alternative text, then we will give the value to that actually. So this is how we make our element accessible. So when I'm removing this title, and now if I say someone whether this element is accessible or semantic, no, this element is not semantic now. This is non-semantic elements. But putting or adding some attributes in that, I can make this element semantic. So now you understand, right? How we can make our non-semantic elements to semantic, and that's the things we learn here actually in accessibility. So what we'll do actually, we will look into all the practical. I'll give you some images. I will give you some website to work on that, to find the issue, and you find the issue and make sure whatever issue we have on that page, you come up with all the issue with me, and then we'll look into that one by one. So that way you will understand, okay, these are the issue we have, or normally we are having this kind of issue on the page. So here are the things. Another issue, okay, so let's start our slide actually. All right, so here, okay. So when we talk about HTML is just a markup language. To design a page, we use HTML there, and in first take we start with we use open our curly braces. I mean, like, where we will give the doc type HTML. Doc type is like we use this first tag is for because of HTML5. It will say like you are designing everything under a HTML5. So that's why we give this doc type as a HTML5, and then we have HTML, and then we have a tag as a head, and then in head we will be using a title. So when we say this is the violation actually. So if I'll give you example. So if the person is navigating on any page and page is not announcing anything, like okay, Ananya Software Technology, contact us. Ananya Software Technology, home page. Ananya Software Technology, career. If it is not announcing, then it's very difficult for the person who is using a screen reader to know where he is actually, on which page he is only. So to understand, it's recommended if title is not there on your page, this is violation. This is when we talk about the guideline, weighted guideline, whether it's a WCAG-O or 2.1. There's nothing change in both of document. Only the changes, like in previous version and in now 2.1, they have added few more guideline. So both is stable, both document is stable, but they added some new guideline which is related to mobile devices actually. So this is the violation. As I said, if you find any page and if you inspect it, let's say if I go to Google website, and after doing website, here if I right click on that, if I select the inspect option, and if I come here and if I see this is my head, because see here I saw this is head. So under head I will find this title. So what I'll do, I will just go here, I will just check under head. There should be a title here. If the title is not there, that means there's an issue here. So I'll search here all the way, or let me see. You have to open all the things here to see whether they have a title or not, or directly you can search here. So you can search. So this is, they have given a title here. So in this page we have a title. This is the title they have given as a Google. So we always look for title on the page. You know the importance now. The importance is like it will help screen reader to navigate on the page to page, and they will come to know. It will announce, okay, I mean, as I said, it's like Technology contact us. So it will announce like that, and they will know, okay, we are on the contact us page. We are on the home page like that. So it's very important. Are you getting me? I mean, like, if you have any question, ask me. I'm here to help you. No question? Okay. So, and then we talked about heading. So when we go into body in HTML code, we have heading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So why we use heading? Actually, we can design our page without heading as well. We can give all the contents in paragraph as well. Why we are using heading? Heading is very important actually. So let's say if we are talking about any application where we have there are so many headings are available on that page. Now the person who is using screen reader only, uh, that person want to go to any specific heading, then how that person will go there? Because it's very difficult for the person. It's very, see, for us it's okay, but for screen reader users it's very difficult for them to go with linear navigation and go on all the link and go with that specific heading. It's very difficult for them. Every time they have to do it actually. So for that we came up with the
So we will place
H. So it's for
H.
yeah, it's the H1 heading. It will crawl as
H1.
H1.
Heading level 1 to level 6.
Level
Yeah.
6, right?
Yeah.
So importance is
That is
like, yeah, importance is like that person don't need to go with all the links, all the contents on the page. He can directly press H. I'm telling you the shortcut key of that screen reader. So when they will run this screen reader, what they will do, they will just press H, and they will accordingly they can press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they will directly jump to. If they will press H and 2, then they will jump to heading level 2. If they press H3, then they will directly jump to heading level 3. So likewise, they can directly jump to that heading to heading. There's no need to go to all the contents on the page. So first thing, whenever you test your application, whenever we test our application, always think from the screen reader perspective. So it's screen reader user perspective. When you think first time, suppose there's a one page you want to visit as a screen reader users, what you will do? So you will basically go with linear navigation. Why? Because you are the first person. You are the first person who is visiting on that application, right? You don't know how many headings are there, how many links are there, how many contents or how many images are there. So it's first time page where you want to visit. So what you will do, you will always prefer to go with the linear navigation to understand what are the things we are having on this page. Once you will know, okay, I know my all the contents, all necessary content which I need, actually it will be on under heading level 1. Then next time when you will visit that page, you will not go with linear navigation. You will directly press H, and whatever the heading you want to jump, you can directly jump with using a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got me? So it's like heading 1, 3, 3, 3. So all 3 headings on the page, it will jump every time when you press the 3, 3, 3. So first time when you press H and 3, it will my focus will directly go to first heading level 3 on the page, and then if you again press 3, it will go to second heading level 3 on the page. We will look into all this actually when we will work on our screen reader, but I'm just giving you idea like why it's so important, why title is important, why heading is important. Because see, for paragraph, there's no sense of I mean, we can definitely will be using a paragraph on the page, because see, we cannot have all the contents, all the things under a heading. Heading is just for section. We have divided like these headings will have that this is contents. So we'll be using a paragraph, but there's no mechanism to directly jump to paragraph. There's no way to only the way is like once you will reach to heading 1, and you can use your down arrow to go with that all the contents under that headings. So you will check like you will do a heading 1, and then you will start using your down arrow to read all the contents you have under that headings. Is that clear now? Okay. So now Here, so we will talk about this is the example I gave you, why it's so necessary and why we want this heading and title on the page. So we already saw headings. All the things are here. Actually, we saw headings. We will, we'll be having paragraph on the page. We'll be having images, link. So all this will be done by the text actually. So we use text, like we use P for paragraph text. We use H for heading text and body. All this will come under a body. So when you design page, you have to just follow this hierarchy. So HTML, head, title, under title, we will be having title value, then head will be closed. Everything should be closed once you are done with that tag. And then body will be having H1, paragraph. We are closing all the tags here once we are done with here. And then we'll be having body will be closed, and then HTML will be closed. So all this is a package. And because of this, we see all these things on our web page. So this is the things. It's a markup language. This is not case sensitive. You can write. It's not like, even if you write here HTML, you can write H capital. It will work. There's no issue. You will not find any issue, and it will work. So just like Java, it's not like.
Yeah, can you go on quickly page 2? HTML. Yeah, doc type. What are the possibilities we can see here? Doc types.
So doc type, as I said, in HTML5, when we start HTML5 coding, we have a different flavor of, HTML actually. So now the current flavor is like, HTML5. So when we talk about HTML5, we have to initialize, right? Somewhere like, we are belong to H5. So that's why we give this syntax there.
Okay, like CSV file, is that kind of thing?
If you suppose write this, exclamation mark, doc type HTML, then it will tell the users that, you are working in HTML5.
Okay, okay.
This is just only syntax actually.
Okay. Syntax of HTML. Okay. So, all right, I got it. Yeah. Makes sense.
So thanks. This is that. If you will use it, then it will support all the HTML5 attributes. This is what I'm saying actually. So we need to everywhere. So whenever suppose we talk about automation, if you will not initialize our variable, it will not understand, right? What to value we have to pass there. So likewise, we have to use a doc type HTML here. Okay, so now we will come here. We understand all this. We understand how body will contain all the visible all the visible contents on the page. And head is already there. It's a meta information. We'll be having all the meta information under head. And HTML is like root elements for the HTML page. And we already saw when we open a tag, you have to close the tag. We already saw that. When we open a paragraph, we'll have to close the paragraph. And likewise we'll do. When we will closing a tag, we'll be always using a forward slash, which is we are using here. So this is the case. When you will look into your page, so heading will be whole page. HTML will be whole page. Then you will be having head, and under head you will be having title. In title under body you will be having H1, heading, paragraph, and all that. Right. So already we have heading, which is 5 levels. So H1 to till H6 we are having, and we can give all this like this. H1 close here, H2 start from close here, H3 start from close here. Paragraph, you don't have any label, so it will be like P, and we'll be close our takes here, so it will be closed. When we talk about so there's one more violation I'll tell you. So one more violation is like, you have one page, and that page, if you have so many click here link or learn more link, right? So in this case, it will be very difficult for me or screen reader user to understand like what will happen. What does it mean by click here? Where it will navigate me? So it's very bad situation. It's very bad actually habit to use a click here. We should never ever use a click here. That's a violation. So whenever we talk about any link, suppose this is the link. So when we create any link, we use anchor tag A, and then we will close this enter tag, and then we use this attributes. So this is the enter, and then we are using attributes CREF, and then in href, and in href we will give the which page you want to navigate. So this is the page, and this will be a link. So let me do one thing. Let me just do it for you. Let me see if I can do it here. Okay, so I'll take one example here. Not this one. So let me try here actually. So what I'll do. I'm again asking you, like if you have any question, please ask me. More and more you will ask me, I will be happy actually. So I can help you with that way. So if we say enter A, and then we are using href, and then I'm having this my URL. So I am telling my system to, once I will click on this is a link, it will navigate me to this URL, and then I'm closing this. So when I'll close this and save this, and then if I open, so this will be a link actually. So let me see why it's not turning to link. Or I have somewhere link. I can open that. No, it's not there. Yeah. So let me open this actually. So to open this any HTML page, you have to right click. You have to just go and open with. There are so many editors available, but normally we use Notepad to open this. And here you can see this is the enter tag A, and then I have given this value, and then I use click here, and then I have closed this. So it's same things we use here. This page is very semantic because see I use title here, and but here is the issue. So when I will turn on, let's say I will give you live example. So here what we'll do, I will turn on my screen reader.
Loading NVDA.
Are you able to hear this announcement?
Welcome to NVDA.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay button.
So here, I'm just
HTML address and search bar edit
so
has
I'm here at
autocomplete
address
control
bar,
plus L.
And as soon as you will turn on this screen reader, it will start announcing. So the best way is like, when you start this screen reader, you have to press control to stop it. And then you can, because it's very, annoying actually, start announcing automatically. So when you will press tape,
HTML reference document. Visited link, click here.
Click here. Now, if I use only click here, it's very difficult for me to understand like click here, what click here actually, where it will go, where it will navigate to me. It's saying like, it's a link, but I don't have any idea like where it will go. So if what I'll do,
click here, visited link.
And then if I press,
for more information, see link Husky Athletics.
Right. So now this is very informative for me. So for more information, see Husky Athletics. So I now I understand, right? To know more about this thing, actually I can just click on that and I can go to that website. So instead of using click, always give a name there, always give some description there. So it's
For more information, see, for more information about Husky Athletics, visit it link, click here dot.
right. So it's very informative actually for me.
Visit it link,
But only
click
using
here.
click key is not informative actually. So
For
always
more information, see link Husky Athletics.
And it will create a problem when you will have a multiple click here link on on your page. If it is one, that's okay. But instead of using click here, I would say always go with that name. Don't use the click here there.
New share. Exit N. 8.
So let's say if we have this tool,
Mhm.
and the moment we just turn on,
Mhm.
do we need to? Is there any configuration? I mean, I have no knowledge using this tool. Do we have any configuration with that specific page or the website,
No,
or the reader will automatically read whatever page I am on?
there's no configuration actually. As soon as you will install this software and you will turn on this software, it will start announcing. There's no need to do any configuration for that.
Okay, sounds good. So
Yeah, the
any
screen
page.
reader itself will announce everything because,
Right.
yeah, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, so this way you can read all the things on the page. All right.
Okay.
So now you understood 2 to 3 violation. The first violation when we are covering all the vacate actually. So what we will do actually when we will
Click here.
actually start the vacate, guidelines, we will relate our issue with that vacate guideline.
Yeah, the WCAG. Yeah. Yeah.
So see why I'm giving you this knowledge right away, because see now when you will open this vacate guideline, you will see there will be violation for title, there will be a violation for the click link, there will be violation for all these things actually there. Headings. So heading, when we talk about heading, so let me give you a good example for heading. So if I said we have headings H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6, but there's a one rule here actually. What is the rule? When you are having heading 1, in under heading 1 you can have heading 2, but it should not be vice versa. Under heading 2 you cannot have a heading 1. So your heading should be in hierarchy manner. So always when you will design your page, it should not be like when you are having heading 1, I cannot do like copy and paste for this, like I'm having this heading under this. This is wrong. So it should be in hierarchy way. And you should not skip the heading as well. So if you are using heading 2 and directly next heading is heading 4, that's the violation. You cannot skip the label of heading as well. So it should be in hierarchy. It should not have any steep level actually. Like if we are using a heading 2 and directly you are using a heading 5, that's not correct. So when you will run automation tool as well, I'll tell you how to run that and how we can find out the issue. But when you will run this tool, you will find this issue. So that way you will able to figure it out, like why we are getting issue here. So we have covered 3 violation here today. It's like title, heading, link,
Title, heading.
So these are the headings, and we saw like how we can inspect, how we can go and we can check the coding, how we can make our click here link as accessible, because previously we saw one disadvantage, like why cannot we use a click here, and then we saw like how we can use the click link there on the page, and what is the issue if I use that on the page. Why we use the HTML, we saw that. What is the importance of using HTML? We saw like why we want to use a title, what title will help actually, how title will help on the page. So we saw all these things, and I hope I'll share this 3 slides with you, so that you can design this page. You just have to do one thing. You have to just copy this whole thing and paste it in HTML in any notepad, and you can give as extension as a HTML, and you can run it actually, and you will able to see. Just try to do, without HTML, without title, and just do it with the title as well, so that we can understand the, we can understand, like, how, what is the issue we are facing when we are not using title, and what is the things will happen, when we'll use the title. So both the way you can understand it actually. So that's why I said, we will make our HTML page non-accessible, and then we'll make it accessible using some attributes. So we are adding attributes. Without title, it will not announce anything, and after title, what it will announce, that we have to check, right? So yeah, these are the things actually we have covered today, and just so just try your best. Look into all this violation, and you can come up with the questions in the next class. We'll look into that, whatever you have, and think always to test any application. Think from all the disability kind of person. Then and there you are able to then you will able to make your application accessible. So how they are thinking, how they are reacting actually. So that you have to think, right? So I hope now you understood the concept. So yeah, that way, we can go with this. Any other questions? Tiffany, that Chase will join our next class. How it will be?
So actually, he will be joining the next class, because actually we also had some load shedding. It is there's a thunderstorm, so there is no current in his area.
No problem.
So next time, yes. Okay,
don't worry about that. I will share all the notes.
But I will share the.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. If you have any question, I'm always available. You can reach out to me and you can ask me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And likewise, we will finish this course. Yes. Huh? All right then. Yeah.
Yes,
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the joining this call actually. Yeah.
Bharat, I just have a quick question.
Yes, please.
So, are you sharing? I think like I missed one class. So I don't know when you started this batch, but are you sharing any? How we get the access to those tools, and do you have any lab set it up, or
No.
how?
I will share everything with you as soon as we will reach to that section or session. Definitely, I'll share all the details how you can install. We will install here and we'll work on that. So don't worry. We'll go on all the topics one by one. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't worry. I will tell you how to install it actually and how we will use that tool. Right, Ajay?
Okay.
Yeah. So that way you will able to understand all the things step by step. Okay. Yeah. All right. So that's it. Any question? Any other questions? All right. Okay, fine. So see you next week. Already I have shared the invitation with you. We'll be joining again next week. Meantime, you can go through all the things. Self-study is always good. Do self-study and come up with the questions. And then we will work on that. Yes. Yeah, we'll see all the practical. We'll not see like only finding the issue. We'll see how we can resolve that issue. Now you understand title issue. We can use title and we can resolve this issue. Now we can use the heading. We know like it should be in hierarchy way. If it is not, how we can resolve the issue. So we will understand like that only, right? So yeah, this all right. Okay, so I think I'm done from my side. If you have any question, you can reach out to me anytime, and then we'll start the class next week. We'll have a class again next week. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Then thank you so much. Yeah. Bye. Bye.
Thanks.